everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to upload an ebook to KDP so that it's going to be on Kindle. Now today I'm going to be uploading a children's picture book, but it's the same method no matter what ebook you are uploading. So let's go. So as you can see, I've logged into my KDP account. If you don't have an account with KDP, they are straightforward to set up. I'll put a link to them in the description. Today, I'm not showing you how to create an account. As I said, I'm going to be showing you how to upload an ebook. Now this page here, this is the bookshelf page. If I click that, it will just reload. There you go. And you can see here there are a couple of announcements. If there is anything like that, it appears at the top. And this is my actual KDP account. Look, you can see there are my books there. And I'm going to hit create. As you can see, create a new title or series. Now today I am creating an ebook for my children's picture book, Our Living Soils. I'll link a video below where I talk about how I actually created the files and a little bit of an explanation about the benefit of an ebook of an illustrated book. But whatever kind of ebook you're creating, this is going to be the same process. As you can see, the paperback and hardcover options are here, and you can link those books together in your bookshelf. In fact, let me show you where I have, so on Milk, look, you can see the Kindle ebook and the paperback are linked together there, and if I made a hardcover, that would be there too. So let's go back into Create, and I am uploading an ebook today, so Create Ebook. And I'm just going to go through all of the different fields, what they mean, you know, the information that you need to fill in throughout this process. So choose your language first of all, and then you put in your book title. So I am doing this for Our Living Soils, and I don't have a subtitle. If you do, you fill it in there. As you go through, you can see there are little guides if you need to check anything, you need any more information. Now this book is not part of a series, so I'm not going to add it to a series. You can change this. A lot of these, most of these options you can go in and change if you need to later. So you can add your book to a series if you end up turning it into a series at a later date, or you can create a series because you know that you're going to be making more books later. For example, my book Lily the Limpet Gets Lost is listed as part of a series, even though that book has been published for some time, but eventually there will be more books in that series. So it's up to you what you do here. And if you have updated your book, this is where you put the edition number. So if you've made some changes, it might be second edition, third edition. This is the first edition of this book, so I'm going to just leave that blank. So you put your contributors in here. Oh, last name goes over here. So this is me. I am the author. And then you can add any other contributors. So I'm going to put the illustrator in this instance. Rhiannon Thomas, and so I'll show you the options here. As you can see, there are other contributors that you can add, so I've just put the illustrator there. Right, the product description, now I'm going to have to copy and paste that from my website, so bear with me a moment. Okay, so here is the listing for this book on my website. So I am going to copy and paste from here. I don't need the bit that says pre-order because that will just come up when I set the release date. And I don't need the suitable for ages bit. So copy that, go back into here. And then if you need to do any formatting, you can do. Unfortunately, on my website, I haven't figured out how to remove this double spacing, but I can do that on KDP. There we go. So that looks a bit neater. Anything that you want to do. Oh, I don't need this books are signed bit. Let's take that out. There we go. Again, you can come back into this and change this if you need to. Publishing rights, I own the copyright. Primary audience, does a book's cover or interior contain sexually explicit images? No, it doesn't. And then your reading age. For these books, I typically choose 4 to 7. If you are publishing an adult's book, I remember being worried when I published Milk because I set the age as 18 plus, and that felt like I was saying that it was an adult book, like it was explicit or whatever. But you are literally just saying who the audience is. So if the audience is adults, then you put adults. If it's children, you select your age. As you can see, baby is an option here too. So your primary marketplace, mine is always .com. I suppose I could choose .co.uk, but I think all of my books, primary is .co.uk. I'm going to choose .co.uk. Let's change it up. Maybe my others are .co.uk. The trouble is when you put multiple books, you forget what you've set. But yeah, choose where you... Oh, the majority of your book sales, yeah, it's .co.uk. And then you can choose your categories. So what are categories? This is where your book appears in the Amazon store. So let's have a look and you can navigate this. So it's children's ebooks, general, I guess. Or you see, sometimes it's a little bit of clicking around. I see. So yeah, I'm not going to do general. I'm going to do science and nature. And I'm going to do, it's probably biology and, I mean, there is an agriculture kind of side to it. See, it does get tricky here to kind of choose. Mind you, I had a subcategory again. Subcategory environment and ecology is quite good. Non-fiction. Excellent. Add another category. So let's go back into the same bit. Subcategory. I had, what was it again? It was down here, wasn't it? Science, nature, yeah. And I'm going to go for nature this time. And, maybe I will go general because it's none of those bits there. And then I get one more option. As you can see, you have the categories that you've chosen here. And again, you can change it. If you feel that your book is listed in a weird place, you can go back in here. Children's ebooks again. What shall I go for? What's in animals? This probably isn't going to work unless I do... No, I don't think I'm animals really. So let's go back to here. I'm probably just going to have to do science and nature again, I think. Yeah. It's always worth getting all the options that you can do. What's in agriculture? No. Oh, I did that before, didn't I? And I clicked that. I suppose I could go biology, how things work. What other options did I have in here? What's in earth sciences? That might be good. Could be non-fiction in there. Let's see what my other options are. So I did one in there, I did one in here. Okay, I'm going to go for this. But as I say, none of this is concrete. You don't have to worry if you're not sure. But I'm going to leave that like that. And then you add some keywords. So as it says, keywords are typically short phrases up to 50 characters that customers use to narrow their book search on Amazon. So they might be looking up, let's think, environmental book for children. They might be looking up soil science, possibly. They might be looking up, let me think. Maybe bear with me while I type these. So I'm nearly done. As you can see, I've gone for rewilding is quite a hot topic. It features mini beasts, so maybe I've just gone more broadly with nature, habitats, and I'm not going to do the storyteller contest because you have to do your paperback as well, and I'm not creating my paperback in KDP. I'm having it bulk printed. Well, I've already had it bulk printed. So one more. What could I have in here? Again, I could change this if I wanted to. Let's go for, this might be a weird choice. I'm probably going to look at these again. Environmental literacy. Would someone type that in? So you can put things in here like gift for children. I wonder if actually I should put something like gift for nature loving children. Actually, I might do that here. You're just thinking about search terms. Gift for nature loving kids. And it will use this information to help people to find the book. I'm ready to release my book now. No, I'm not. My book is going to be on pre-order and it's going to be on the 8th of June. Lovely. And as you can see, you don't actually have to upload your files if you're setting a release date in the future. So if your files aren't ready, that's okay. Or you can do releasing your book now. And then we go save and continue. And on the next page, when it comes up, we're going to be putting in our content. So you have a few options here that it's important to understand. Now they're talking about a KPF file. You can create that using Kindle Create. I made a video on that before, I mentioned it earlier. So have a look in the description if you're not sure on that, and I do a walkthrough of how to use that program. But as you can see, there are other file types that are supported. Here you go. But they have recently stopped accepting Mobi files. So that was why I did a new video on how to make a KPF file. So yeah, have a look. As it says, you can use Kindle Create and so forth. So make sure that your files are already in a format that's going to work here. And then decide, do you want to add digital rights management? So that inhibits unauthorized access to or copying of digital content files. Now, I am not going to click this digital rights management. Typically, I haven't done for my last few children's books because it stops people being able to transfer the book as easily from one reader to another, stops them being able to share the book so easily. And for me, in this instance, I am not so concerned whether somebody is sharing this book with someone else or they want to transfer it to another e-reader, because I am creating this ebook largely for promotional reasons and not for financial reasons, and it doesn't massively, in my opinion, affect piracy. So I am thinking I would rather people are sharing, spreading the word, able to read this book wherever, because actually I'm focusing on the physical copy. But that's the specific circumstances around my children's book. You might choose differently for other books, and I have chosen differently for other books, but I'm not going to click that one today. And then it says, do you have a file? Yes, I do, and I'm going to upload it. Okay, so that's uploading. Now, you can change this file anytime up to the release. As it says somewhere, it gave me a date for that. Where is it? So I need to have the final version before Wednesday, June the 4th, because obviously that's so it can be processed and ready to send out to anyone who has pre-ordered. However, it's worth noting that once the book is released, you can still change the file. So if you notice an error, there's some minor little detail that you need to change and it's not a new edition, you can go in and change the files. So we'll just wait for this to upload. It can take a little while. Looks like it's almost done, but there we go. Yeah, you can change it if needs be. So please press save and continue to complete uploading. Yep, fine, continue. So you can see soil ebook, that's uploaded. If you don't have a cover, now I do have a cover. I did think it was part of the ebook. Maybe then it wasn't. I will double check the files. I have it as a JPEG anyway, so let's upload that. So if I did, see, I made this file a little while ago, and if the cover is in this or there's any issues, I can see that in the preview, and that will give me an idea of if there's any issues. Did I use AI? No, I didn't. And then we're converting your file. So once they finish converting, you can launch the previewer. So if anything's come up weird, if I have included the cover or anything like that, then you can obviously go in, edit your file and so on. While I wait for that to work, let's just have a look here. So I am not using an ISBN. You can do. So if, for example, I was publishing this ebook on multiple platforms. So for example, I used Draft to Digital as well for some of my books. And if that was the case, I would be using an ISBN so that that ebook is linked to that ISBN no matter the platform. However, if it's just on Kindle, I'm happy for it to just have the Amazon identifier. It's not ever going to be published anywhere else. So I am personally not bothered here. But yeah, in terms of ebook, the reason you might want an ISBN is if it's on multiple platforms. And the publisher, that's me. So I put my publishing company, oh, I can't type today, Sartain Publishing Limited, there you go. And as you can see now, I can launch the previewer, so let's have a quick look. To be honest, if I do see any issues, I'm not going to fix them now. I'm going to show you how to do this. But you can see it comes up and you can see, oh, there's a problem. That might be because I am in Safari and not Chrome. Refresh. Okay, that's better. So this does come up if you've got, so my book is interactive because it's a children's book, and there's bits where it goes from panel to panel and stuff. The interactive features, they won't work on this previewer, but you can see there's the front cover. Yeah, I did include the front cover. Okay, fine. I'll go in and fix that. And you can see the book here, and you've got different options of how you can look at it. You can look at it how it would be landscape. There we go. And different devices. So you can go through. So as you can see, I need to change my file. Fine, I will do that later. You know what? I am going to quickly change that file. It won't take a moment. Okay, that is done. So I will show you live how you can change things if you need to. Right, upload manuscript. And the new file is just uploading. And then I'll have another look at the previewer. And hopefully that won't have that double page. It's always worth having a look on the previewer, and just in case there's something might come up strangely, doesn't look how you expected, isn't laid out how you wanted. So always just have a little look. That's almost done. I'm pretty sure that the way that it used to work is that you could select the cover is included in my file. I'm sure that's the case, which is why I had included it in my file, but never mind, these things change. So we're going to wait for that to... This still doesn't use AI. We're going to wait for that to be ready to launch. So as it says that it's converting my file. Cool. So let's have another look at the previewer. Here we go. And hopefully I've just got one front cover. There we go. And as it said, there's an interactive element to it, so it will zoom in on that text and then it will go to the picture and so forth. So yeah, I can't preview that, but as you can see, each page is like a double page spread like so, and it's made so that although this text is small, it zooms in on it, so it should work perfectly. Cool. I will properly look at that later, but for the purposes of now, that looks fine. Right, let's go back. And as you can see, that's how easy it is to make a change. No, I didn't do it on purpose. As I say, it was because I'm sure it used to say, is the cover included in your file? Anyway, doesn't matter, problem fixed. So there we go. We're going to say save and continue. Everything looks good to me. And then we go on to pricing. Okay, so this book I'm going to enroll in KDP Select. Do have a good look into whether you want to do this. I do this for children's books. I don't do it for my other ones. So it's a 90-day program. You are tied in for 90 days, and it means that you can run discounts. I want to be able to offer free periods when people can download the book. And as you can see, if you want to enter the Kindle Storyteller contest, you have to be in KDP Select. So yeah, you are tied in, and it does mean you have to be exclusive to Kindle. So if you were thinking of publishing elsewhere, don't tick that box, because otherwise you're stuck for 90 days until you can untick it, which you can. So you can unenroll if you want to, but you are there for 90 days if you do enroll. And yeah, I want to, so that's okay. And then where do I have the rights to sell this book? That's all territories, that's correct, primarymarketplaces.co.uk. And then I start doing my pricing. Now you can have a look at how the pricing and the royalties work. Essentially, you might go, well, why would I want 35% royalty? Of course I want 70. But if you set 70%, your minimum list price is £1.77. Whereas if you choose 35%, then you have a minimum list price of 77 pence. So this very much changes the circumstances here. Now I'm going to set my pricing based on the pricing of my other children's books. Now the pricing of those is set because that's the minimum price for those books, and I think that's to do with the change in file here. At some point, I'm going to change the files of the other books over to the KPF files because they're currently Mobies. As I say, this is my children's books. And then, in theory, this price will come down, and then I can change all of the pricing across the board so that it all looks exactly the same. But for now, I'm just going to make it so all my books are equal. As I said earlier, I'm not worried about the financial aspect. I want this to be as cheap as possible, and I want it to be available for free as much as possible because it's promotional. You will make a different decision, I'm sure, depending on the royalty that you're looking at. Personally, 52 pence, fine. that's absolutely fine. But if you are choosing to upload your ebook for other reasons, then you're going to want a more significant royalty. And equally, then you might want to choose the 70% option and price your ebook higher. So that is why the 35% is there, is so that you can drop the price of your ebook. So I'm then going to go through and tidy up these prices. I like round numbers, or, nines, 49.99. It's always good to go along and just make sure that, because otherwise I think it looks more professional if you do this, rather than having really, really random numbers. So I do always go along and do that. And as you can see, all these prices have come up dependent on the original price that you set. So it's converting those to the different currencies. I'm going to go $10.99 for that one. Whoops, not $110.99. $10.99. £2. Let's make that 79. Whoops. And I do every now and again have a little look through and check that the exchange rates haven't massively changed, just to make sure it's fair. But yeah, again, you can change this pricing very, very easily. And then now that I'm happy with everything, if I hit submit for pre-order, that means that everything is done. If you're literally submitting for publishing, then that will be your option. As you saw, I'm creating a pre-order, and all this will start going through. As it said, I still have the option until the 4th of June, it's the 28th of May right now, to just check everything, make any changes that I want to make. I really hope that this video was helpful in explaining to you what all the different boxes mean and what you might need to tick or fill in, and your choices will be different to mine. The likelihood is that you're not going to be setting these really low prices, but hopefully it just gave you a guide on how to do it. And of course, some of these marketplaces I'm not very likely to sell in either, but you do still get the option for all of these marketplaces anyway. So submit for pre-order, and please hit like if you found this video useful, and please subscribe for more videos like this one. I always appreciate having you as new subscribers. Thank you so much. And there we go, published. And as you can see, by the way, it does take 72 hours for your title to be available for purchase. So although I've just pressed go, this isn't going to be available for a couple of days. It might be, sometimes it's quicker than that. But be aware, if you were planning on pressing go straight away, it might be a little bit longer. And you can see I can just start making my paperback right now if I wanted to. I'm not going to. But anyway, thank you. I hope that was helpful. And please leave in the comments anything that you think will be useful for other people going through this whole process. And thanks for watching. Take care.